রাধা মাধব জয় রাধা মাধব জয় পঞ্চতত্ত্ব 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 জয় পঞ্চতত্ত্ব
Panchatattva jaya panchatattva jaya gauranita 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 jaya gauranita Вишнупада Парамахамса Паривраджа Качаря Штотара Шаташи Шримад Госвами Абхайчара Наравинда Бхактивиданта Сами Шила Прабхупада Ки Джай. Джай Вишнупад Парамахамса Паривраджа Качаря Штотара Шаташи Шримад Госвами Бхактисиданта Сарасвати Такур Прабхупада Махараджа Ки Джай. Ананта Коти Вайшнава Вринда Ки Джай. Намачаря Шила Харидас Такур Ки Джай. Om Premstako Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Madhava Gopi Gopinath Radha Kunda Shama Kunda Giri Govardhana Ki Jai Vrindavana Madhura Dhamma Ki Jai Mayapura Navadipa Dhamma Ki Jai Ganga Maya Yamuna Maya Ki Jai Tulsi Maharani Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Nitai 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 Gaura Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Jai Shri Shri Guru Gauranga. Jai Shri Shri Guru Gauranga. Jai Shri Shri Guru Gauranga. Jai Shri Prabhupada. Jai Shri Gurudeva Ki Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet. Nashta Prayesha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Utamashloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Om Agyanam Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yudapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Shya Shri Rupa Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijanam Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana lalita shivishakam vlitamsha Namahom Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Hitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunnavadi Pashyatya Deshatarine Nama Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Today we continue reading wonderful Bhagavatam. Canto 1, chapter 11, and the text 27. And the title of the chapter is Lord Krishna's Entrance into Dvārakā. Sitātapatra-vyajanair upaskṛtaḥ prasūna-varṣair abhivarṣitaḥ pathi piśaṅga-vāsā vana-mālayā babhau ghano yathārkoḍupa-cāpa-vaidyutaiḥ sitātapatra-vyajanair upaskṛtaḥ prasūna-varṣair abhivarṣitaḥ pathi piśaṅga-vāsā vana-mālayā babhau ghano yathārkoḍupa-cāpa-vaidyutaiḥ sitātapatra-vyajanair upaskṛtaḥ prasūna-varṣair abhivarṣitaḥ pathi piśaṅga-vāsā vana-mālayā babhau ghano yathārkoḍupa-cāpa-vaidyutaiḥ. Next, please. Sitātapatra-vyajanair upaskṛtaḥ prasūna-varṣair abhivarṣitaḥ pathi piśaṅga-vāsā vana-mālayā babhau ghano yathārkoḍupa-cāpa-vaidyutaiḥ. Sitātapatra-vyajanair upaskṛtaḥ prasūna-varṣair abhivarṣitaḥ pathi piśaṅga-vāsā vana-mālayā babhau ghano yathārkoḍupa-cāpa-vaidyutaiḥ. Sitātapatra-vyajanair upaskṛtaḥ prasūna-varṣair abhivarṣitaḥ pathi. Piśaṅga-vāsā vana-mālayā babhau. Ghano yathārkoḍupa-cāpa-vaidyutaiḥ. sitātapatra-vyajanair upaskṛtaḥ. prasūna-varṣair abhivarṣitaḥ pathi. piśaṅga-vāsā vana-mālayā babhau. Ghano yathārkoḍupa-cāpa-vaidyutaiḥ. sitātapatra-vyajanair upaskṛtaḥ. prasūna-varṣair abhivarṣitaḥ pathi. piśaṅga-vāsā vana-mālayā babhau. Ghano yathārkoḍupa-cāpa-vaidyutaiḥ. Sitātapatra, white umbrella, vyajanaiḥ, with a cāmara fan. Upaskṛtaḥ, being served by. Prasūna, flowers. Varṣaiḥ, by the showers. Abhivarṣitaḥ, thus being covered. Pathi, on the road. Piśaṅga-vāsā, by the yellow garments. Vana-mālayā, by the flower garlands. Babhau, thus it became. Ghanaḥ, cloud. Yathā, as if. Arka, the sun. Uḍupa, the moon. Cāpa, the rainbow. Vaidyutaiḥ, by the lightning. Translation and the purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. As the Lord passed along the public road of Dvārakā, His head was protected from the sunshine by a white umbrella. White hair fans moved in semicircles, and showers of flowers fell upon the road. His yellow garlands and garlands of flowers made it appear as if a dark cloud were surrounded simultaneously by the sun, moon, rainbow, and lightning. Purport. The sun, moon, rainbow, and lightning don't appear in the sky simultaneously. When there is sun, the moonlight becomes insignificant. And if there are clouds and a rainbow, there is no manifestation of lightning. The Lord's bodily hue is just like a new monsoon cloud. He is compared herein to the cloud. The white umbrella over his head is compared to the sun. The movement of the bunch hair fan of flax is compared to the moon. The showers of flowers are compared to the stars. His yellow garments are compared to lightning, and the flower garlands of his chest are compared to rainbow. So all these activities of the firmament, being impossible simultaneously factors, can be adjusted by comparison. The adjustment is possible only when we think of the inconceivable potency of the Lord. The Lord is all power, and in His presence anything impossible can be made possible by His inconceivable energy. But the situation created at the time of His passing on the roads of Dvārakā was beautiful, and could not be compared to anything besides the description of natural phenomena. Hare Krishna. Krishna just left Hastinapur and left the devotees there, the Pandavas and his relatives, in the pangs of great separation. And now we have wonderful meeting with Dvārakā, and so beautiful, and the whole description of 11th chapter dedicated to this wonderful meeting. And great joy we can feel in the heart of everyone, as it's explained by Shukadeva Goswami, because of seeing the Lord. And the meeting with Krishna in Dvārakā happened also after the separation, deep feeling of separation, which was unbearable for the Vrajavasis. As they mentioned, when they met the Lord, they told him, when you go out to meet friends and relatives in Hastinapur and in Vrindavan, a moment becomes million years, a millennium. Eyes become useless, as if bereft of sun. Existence becomes difficult without seeing your smile that vanquishes suffering. It's so beautiful here. This a wonderful passage from the speeches of different residents of Dvārakā. Literally speaking, when a person already developed or restored his spiritual senses, his spiritual mind and his spiritual intelligence, it's impossible for him to bear the separation from the Lord. Literally, these senses are pulled to Krishna as if iron to the magnet. And it's so beautiful. It's explained by Shukadeva Goswami, and it cannot be resisted. That's the main feature of our intelligence and the senses. They pull to Krishna. And they cannot live without Krishna, without what in him? Without his rupa, without his guna, without his lila, even one moment. It's just impossible. And when the external separation happening, like it was in Dvārakā before and now in Hastinapur, then mind just calls the senses inside. Let's go inside. Let's meditate. Let's reunion. Let's have this reunion. Let rejoin our prananat, our living force. And thus meditation happens on this level. So meditation, basically that's because of the feeling of separation. We will meditate. And then a miracle happened. Krishna comes in our meditation. The union is there. In the separation, there will be great union inside. Because of this thinking, always contemplating on the Lord, the union happens. And it's very intense union, much intense than external, during external meeting. And so in this chapter, particularly mentioned different features of this amazing meeting with the Lord in Dvārakā, the great enthusiasm of the Dvārakā-vasis when the Lord heralds his entrance into Dvārakā with blowing his conch shells. All of them, they begin running towards the Lord with the speed of the mind, with all their offerings. And then they have direct darshan of the Lord, and they could see the smiling face with attractive glances, very affectionate glances of the Lord. That's how the Lord reciprocates with these feelings of love expressed to him during this meeting. And they see his transcendental form in great jubilation. The expert dramatists and the artists and the dancers and the singers and all these different historians and genealogists and all the people who praise the Lord with their prayers. They came there running to express their gratitude, to express their joy out of seeing the Lord. And they do this simultaneously. It's also the custom in India to glorify the Lord simultaneously, not in turns, not in sequence, but simultaneously. Therefore, we have this always tumult the great sound in the temples when they glorify the Lord, they speak about the Lord, they like express their feelings simultaneously. So that's even now it's happening. Therefore, it's so noisy sometimes here, but it's because of this great joys of greeting the Lord, greeting in His form of archa, in His form of the deity, in His form of the devotees, in His form of Bhagavatam. It's naturally coming. And now we have a wonderful section of the verses 24 to 27, Krishna's attractive beauty. So these particular verses, they describe the beauty of Krishna when he enters Dvārakā. And 24, starting from this verse, the women of Dvārakā-vasis, they went up to the roof of their palaces to see the Lord, to have this Tat Ikshana Mahotsava, the festival for the eyes, the festival of seeing this wonderful rupa, the wonderful form of the Lord. And then they could see him as a reservoir of all beauty. Dvārakā-vasis would regularly see him. They used to see his beautiful form, but they never satiated. They wanted again and again. As we told, this is the influence of his energy of akarsha, the energy of attractiveness, because we know that Krishna, he's all attractive. How? By his energy of akarsha. And then we become little bit sensitive for the experience of already Svarupa Shakti of the Lord in the heart, then this akarsha will affect us in the same way. We will never satiate it from hearing, from seeing the Lord, from smelling the wonderful offerings offered to Him, and everything else, whatever connected to our senses. And then in the 26, the four aspects of Krishna's beauty are given. His wonderful chest, that's Shriya Nivasa Yasyara. Shriya, who is Shri? That's Lakshmi Devi Nivasa. That's his abode. That's her abode, Lakshmi Devi. And she's always there as a Shivatsa mark, the hair, beautiful golden lock of hair there, that's her place. Although she cannot enter any intimate pastimes of the Lord, but still she is there in the form of beautiful hair, watching, aspiring to enter, but somehow it's impossible for her, although that's her refuge, the broad chest of the Lord. And the explanation is that it's like a doorway. It's so beautiful and broad, like a sapphire Broadway. It's very beautiful that the three parts of the Lord's body are very broad, that his forehead, his chest, and his waist. Like amazingly, sometimes his waist is explained as very thin, like a lion waist, but sometimes explained and described as very broad, like Rupa Goswami says, it's very broad, as well as his chest. And the face, that the second aspect of Krishna's beauty, his face, panapatram, mukham drisham, panapatram. Pana means drinking, apatra means vessel, mukham, beautiful face, and drisham. So the eyes, drinking always the beauty of his face from this wonderful panapatram, this vessel of beauty of his face. And the arms, the protections of the protectors, the force, the power to protect all the demigods they are getting from the arms of the Lord. The protection possible only when they are protected by the Lord. So getting this power to protect the protectors, getting it from the arms of the Lord, as well as the power to control the material elements as they're supposed to, as it's there according to the position. And the feet, Shukadeva Goswami gives these beautiful different refuges as the features of the form of the Lord, with explaining how different personalities like find their refuge in these different forms, different parts of the form. And the feet, that's for the devotees. Sharanganam, Sharana, Sharama, that's the Lord. And the Ga, as it's explained by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, is that glorification. Gana, to glorify. So Sharanganam, that's the devotees who glorify the Lord. Man manasa madhukara marpaya nijapada pankaja pankaja. That's famous Rupa Goswami verse in which he compares his mind with the bee. And this bee humbly asking the Lord, please give me the nectar, makaranda, man manasam madhukara marpaya. My manasa madhukari. Who is Madhu? The bee. What is he doing? He is collecting some madhukari, and this is makaranda, nectar. That's the most nectarian part of the Lord's beauty is at his feet. And therefore Rupa Goswami asking for the nectar, begging for the nectar from the Lord, the nectar of his lotus feet. It's so beautiful. So this is a refuge for the devotees. The humble surrender. Thus they get in everything else. They get in chest, they get in face, and everything else. So no need to separately strive for this. They come in with a surrender to the lotus feet. That's the mercy of the Lord. And here in this verse 27, that again miracle comes into picture, like how the Lord's beauty is described while he is walking along the roads of Dvārakā. And it described it is wonderful analogy, wonderful, which also express like inconceivable natural phenomena, which cannot happen simultaneously. In the sky we never see together the sun, the moon, the stars, the rainbows, and the cloud. We never will see it. But here, as Srila Prabhupada mentioned, they appear simultaneously in this picture of beauty of Krishna. And thus we have the Lord. He is like a dark cloud, Ganashyama. Gana means cloud. Not just clouds, there are different clouds, but this particular kind of color of the Lord, this particular cloud, appears only during the rainy season. It has a special color of shyam. Shyam will never appear in spring. Shyam, this color, will never appear in the sky, in the clouds, during summer season, winter. This is a feature of rainy season, as they make the appearance of this wonderful Ganashyams, the very special color of blue sapphire shining through this wonderful cloud, as like a sun shining through the cloud in the sky. So the shining effulgence is there, it just coming as an aura of this wonderful cloud. Therefore, even the hue of this cloud becomes so beautiful because of this effulgence. That one of the features of the Lord, that one of the qualities of the Lord, he is effulgent. And it's one of the kinds of beauty of the Lord. There are 5 kinds of beauty, and we will go one by one through all these kinds in the personality of Godhead. And one kind of his beauty, he's very effulgent, and it's called lavanya. It's like effulgence of the pearl. Like pearl, it shines from within. It's not effulgence of some particular surface. It's not the surface which shines. It shines from within. With what? We can say that it's qualities. It's beautiful inner self, which gives this shyness, which gives this effulgence. That's the effulgence of the Lord. It shines from within. And this effulgence we see as the Brahman effulgence. This beautiful hue of the sky now, see, it's bluish. It's so wonderful. This is the effulgence which coming from inside of Krishna through the body, and appears that the body is shining, but actually that the shyness of the wonderful qualities of the Lord. It shines from within. He shines from within. And amazingly, this wonderful Brahmana effulgence gives appearance to matter. Because the matter appears from the energy of Brahman effulgence. It's another, and it's also explained there how the Lord made appearance of all the beautiful creations in these material unions. Everything comes as a spark of his splendor, as he explains in the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. We will come to it. And then, of course, we have Sita-ātapatra, that was the Lord, who is like a Ganesha, like a dark monsoon cloud, and sita-ātapatra, white umbrella. It's compared here to the sun arka. It's also amazing. It's supposed to protect the head of the Lord from the sun, and still it's like the sun. It's shining like the sun. It's so beautiful. And vyajanaiḥ, cāmara fans, and they're making semicircles, fanning the Lord. And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explained that they are like moon, but not one moon, two moons, because simultaneously there's two cāmaras working, fanning the Lord. And then we have prasūna-varṣair. Varsha means the rain, the flowers of which comes like a shower, flower showers, prasūna-varṣair, and they compare to the stars, different stars already also there. And piśaṅga-vāsā, yellow garments of the Lord, they compare to the lightning. And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur also mentioned it's not just lightning. Lightning in the sky just momentarily just coming and going. But this is stationary lightning. So for now we have all of them, 5 together. We have the sun, the moon, the stars, the cloud, and the rainbow. Not even one rainbow, but so many rainbows, because Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that the different garlands of the Lord, they are like rainbows. So could be many, because now there is an offering of all these garlands and different gifts to the Lord. So we have like unusual, like impossible in any other time appearance of the Lord, impossible. But Srila Prabhupada mentions here, these phenomena can appear simultaneously only when we think about the inconceivable energy of the Lord. How to reconcile? The explanation is there. All of them appear simultaneously. But Srila Prabhupada tells, no, it's impossible. How to reconcile? By considering the inconceivable potency of the Lord. By his inconceivable potency, Krishna can make impossible possible, or possible impossible. And he may not explain to us how he did what he did. He reserves this right to not explain. Therefore, for us, it's inconceivable, right? We cannot understand, because it's not described anywhere. Only Krishna can describe this, how it appeared. This or that, so many wonderful instances of the actions of this inconceivable potency of the Lord. And in Bhagavad Gita, he tells to Arjuna, he describes his wonderful creations coming from him. Yad yad vibhutim at sattvam shimad urjita evava tatat evaiti tatat evava gachkatva mamat jamsha sambhavaha. Know, O descendant of Bharata, that all Shimad, beautiful, and Urja, glorious, and opulent creation, they spring from just a spark of my splendor. So all this, whatever is mentioned here, sun, moon, stars, rainbows, they coming from Krishna. That's his creation. Like as we said, the sun, the transformation of the effulgence of Brahman. And the effulgence of Brahman, that's effulgence of Krishna's quality. That's naturally sun, that's creation of Krishna. And the effulgence of sun reflected by the sun, by the moon and the stars, that's how they give to us light. they're not independent. They're dependent on the light of the sun, right? The reflection of the sun in them, which make them light, which makes them effulgent. So all of them coming from Krishna. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada mentioned, and from 10th chapter as well, of lights I am the radiant sun, of the stars I am the moon. So that's also opulences, the vibhutis of Krishna. And Srila Prabhupada mentioned that Krishna can be compared only to the natural phenomena. Why natural? Why not artificial? We created so many wonderful things as well. Skyscrapers, wonderful roads, wonderful buildings. Why not to compare Krishna to some of this creation, artificial? Never. Because they're created by our conditioned nature. Therefore, they bear the same conditioning. And Krishna is above this. So it cannot be, he cannot be compared. His beauty cannot be compared to any artificial because of this. Why it can be compared to the natural phenomena? Because it's coming from him. And because it came from him, naturally bears the beauty of Krishna. The creation reflects the beauty of the creator. Therefore, beauty of the creator can be compared only to the natural phenomena, to the sun, to the moon, to the stars. So this is the meaning of inconceivable potency. So it makes impossible possible, possible impossible, and Krishna will not explain to us why he did what he did. For us, it's inconceivable. And Jiva Goswami states there are different examples of these inconceivable energies of the Lord. Actually, all the energies of the Lord are inconceivable. We cannot conceive them. We cannot understand them fully. And Jiva Goswami states that no one can understand Krishna unless he accepts the Lord's Achintya Shakti. All the outstanding feats of Krishna which he performs in his various incarnations, we cannot understand and cannot be conceived just by explanation. When we surrender to the Lord, and again miracle happen, then all these inconceivable potencies of the Lord become ours. Because Krishna is very fond of reciprocating with the devotees by giving himself. And together with Krishna, all his inconceivable energy also comes as our possession, so we can understand the Lord. It's also very important for us because how to approach Krishna is the goal of our life. Krishna is the essence of what we do. We want to develop the relationship with him, and this is the basis of our sadhana. We are developing this relationship. That's our goal. But how to approach the person whom we don't know, and there is no hope to understand him because he's inconceivable, right? How to approach this person, how to develop this relationship, and it's explained by our Lord Brahma, the creator and the original spiritual master, the source of our parampara. Pramanjana charita bhakti vilochanena santah sadaiva hridayeshu vilokayanti yam shema sundara achintya gunasvarupam Govinda Madhipura Shantamaham. I worship this primeval Lord Govinda, who appears, who manifests himself in the heart of those who already develop unalloyed, pure love of him. And with the eyes, the internal eyes, being anointed with the ointment of love, they can see Govinda with his Achintya Guna Swarupa. The Swarupa of the Lord with all his Achintya Gunas, it appears in the heart. Through Bhakti, we can understand this Achintya of the Lord, Achintya energies of the Lord, Achintya personality of the Lord, that how Krishna lovingly reciprocates with us. So impossible becomes possible for us when we dedicated ourselves to the Lord in Bhakti. So that's a wonderful reciprocation of the Lord, Arjuna asked Krishna. He got some doubt. In 18th chapter, in the non-verbal dialogues between Arjuna and Krishna, Arjuna asked, how is that, Krishna? That jnanis, they strive for so long. It takes many lifetimes for them to practice the science of self-realization, but still they cannot attain to you. They're so renowned, they're so knowledgeable, but your devotees, with a little knowledge, and they're not even renounced, but they're getting to you so easily, they're attaining you so easily. Where is the logic in this? And then Krishna explains, the logic is that it's beyond the logic. It's by my mercy. That's not logical. That's my mercy. And then he explains his mercy. What is this mercy? My mercy contains this incredible, inconceivable potency in it. By my mercy, everything is possible. As we said, inconceivable potency means impossible, possible, possible, impossible. Therefore, by the mercy of Krishna, we can get everything. And this is wonderful. And then Krishna explains actually how we become eligible for this mercy, how we become eligible for getting Krishna together with all inconceivable energy, how to get this mercy. Krishna explains the mood. Therefore, to get this mercy of mine, please first, in all your activity, depends upon me. Depend upon me. Not depend on yourself, not depend on someone else. Depend on me. The second, work always under my protection. That's the science of surrender. We know the 6 signs of surrender. One of them. Depend on me in protection. Work under my protection, not under the protection, not rely on your protection. Don't try, in other words, to protect yourself, or don't strive for others' protection of yourself. Depend on me in your protection as well. And third, in such devotional service, be fully conscious of me, meaning always think of me. When we think about this idea, this paradigm of thinking about Krishna always, the acharyas given these wonderful examples how it's possible. Like the gopis in Braj, in India, how they pitching the water. Like they put the water, they pour the water in the pots, and they're carrying the pots on their heads. And while carrying them along the streets, along the roads, they're chatting with their friends, they're speaking about different family matters, about different subjects, but they're always conscious about pot. Therefore, this pot never falls. Because you will never see the gopi with the pot falling from her head. It's impossible because she is always conscious about this pot on her head, all right? While doing all other stuff as well, like speaking and arranging something and so much. That's how we're supposed to think about Krishna. We can do, like, we can do so many things, but always conscious about this pot of beauty of Krishna. We can always be concentrated on Him in our daily affairs. And today we will discuss, whatever time is left, today we will discuss the qualities of Krishna, because here, this chapter particularly dedicated to the beauty of Krishna, this section of verses. Why do we need to hear about the qualities of Krishna? Because the existence in material as well as the spiritual plane, it based on rasa, it based on the relationship. Rasa could be material or could be spiritual. But rasa is one. But in these two cases, the subject and object of rasa, they are different, but the rasa is the same. So for the matter, what the constituents of rasa? The subject of rasa is a person who wants to enjoy with his senses. And the object of rasa is a person who is supposed to give the enjoyment. This material rasa, nothing else. One strives for enjoyment and another gives this enjoyment. But this kind of exploitation. We cannot say that it's a real relationship because they're based on exploitation. I want something from you, and if you give, you're my friend. If you don't give, I never consider you a friend and even relative. And spiritual rasa is the same. The same event, the same essence, but the different constituents. It's like the subject is the servant. Subject of this rasa, someone whom we call ashraya, who gives the love. And the object is Krishna, the someone who accepts the love. And by accepting the love, he also gives the love to us simultaneously. It's like always the exchange, the loving exchange. Love is given, love is taken, and given again in return. So it's always there. So that's the definition of rasa, that sweet relationship with the Lord, that spiritual rasa. Sweet relationship. By our sadhana, we are entering our relationship with the Lord, but to become rasa, it requires something. To become rasa, really sweet, it requires 5 kinds of ecstasies, 5 kinds of bhavas. When they appear in our body, in our heart first, then combined they form rasa. Without this rasa, we cannot really have the relationship with the Lord, because the rasa is the essence of this relationship. Sweet exchange based on the emotions, based on bhavas. And the first very important element of rasa is vibhava. Vibhava, that's cause of this ecstasy, which give us this ecstasy. Which kind of things or who can give? There are 2 of them, alambana and udipana. Alambana is the person who gives this rise of ecstasy, and in its turn, the ecstasy give rise or develop our prema. So they just interdepending, the ecstasy and prema. The more ecstasy in the heart, the deeper prema developed. So who is the person? Krishna, of course. The vibhava, the first element of rasa is vibhava, the cause of our ecstasy. That's Krishna. Or the pure devotee, or the devotee who already regained his restored nature, naturally having already Swarupa revealed. Then this exchange could be also very ecstatic. So the ecstasies are created by this person as well in our heart. Even in his presence, we know, in the presence of the spiritual master, in the presence of elevated devotee, all those feel this kind of ecstasy because they are vibhava. They ashraya vibhava, alambana ashraya vibhava. And the Krishna alambana vishaya vibhava. He is an enjoyer who gives this kind of ecstasy to us. Therefore, when we hear about him, when we hear about these wonderful qualities of Krishna, then we start feeling something at least. Therefore, it's so important to feel it. Therefore, so important to hear, because by hearing about these qualities of Krishna, alambana vishaya qualities, wonderful qualities, then the arise of all these different ecstatic emotions appear in our heart. And from this vibhava, this is the main element of rasa, vibhava. And from vibhava, anubhava comes. When these feelings towards the Lord, ecstatic feelings, they appear in the heart, they want to go outside. They want to come out, and they come out as anubhavas. They're different ecstatic symptoms like singing and dancing and embracing the devotees and glorifying the Lord and chanting the holy name of the Lord. All these symptoms, they are anubhavas, but they are sprouting from hearing about the wonderful qualities of the Lord. And then, of course, that's anubhava. Then sattvika bhavas, all this manifestation, transformation, different vikaras, transformation in the body, like stunned in ecstasy, or krandana, tears coming from the eyes, or shivering with the body, or hair stands on end. That's all the different manifestation of 8 transformation coming also from the descriptions of the Lord. And then, of course, these waves of vyabhichari bhavas. It's very bright, ecstatic feelings which appear in the ocean of our devotion, like tsunamis, like big waves, like enormous, I would say, and they divided into feelings in separation, very bright, and feelings in meeting, also very bright. Now we have jubilation, like without boundaries. So much joy, so much bliss, all these devotees feel towards the Lord, and they expressed as vibhavas, great jubilation. They cannot restrain themselves, just come running to the Lord and embracing Him and greeting Him, and whatever we can even imagine, everything is there out of jubilation. And in separation, the same, the feeling of pangs of the separation, starting from anxiety and 10 levels of the separation, all the way to death, the 10th level of separation, death. But it's not physical death, but it appears like a death when there is no even breathing. When you put the cotton to the nose of the person who is in such condition, you will not feel any, there will be no movement of this cotton. So it's deep, deep feeling of separation which internally brings the meeting, very intense meeting inside. So all of them, the different constituents of rasa, and of course this is the ocean of our sthāyi bhava. All this happening, all these different bhavas, the different waves in the ocean of our sthāyi bhava. And what is the sthāyi bhava? That's our rati. That's our eternal loving attraction towards the Lord, attachment to the Lord in some of our rasas. We have 5 main mukhya and 7 ghana, 7 additional. So all of them combine the 12. And when you enter into the ocean, you will never feel that ocean give you any bliss until there are some waves there. So all these bhavas, they create these waves which make us feel bliss. All right? So this bhava should appear for this rasa to be created. And we start from the description of the Lord's qualities. When we hear, it's vibhava, and it gives the rise of all other feelings, ecstatic feelings, which make the rasa. Sweetness, we will feel the sweetness of the Lord through the description of the Lord. That's how we start. We didn't start yet, dear devotees, but we have to finish here at this point. We didn't start, we just, touched the surface. It just very disappointing to see this clock or hear the TOVP clock. So if you have any questions, so it was like, yes, Prabhu. Yeah, can you please do this with the mic, because I cannot hear you properly. Just 1 second. Not so loud enough.
Mataji, in the very first few minutes of your class, you mentioned that Krishna is all attractive, and that when the soul leaves the body, it gets immediately attracted to Krishna.
Yes.
So what context were you speaking in? Could you just re-clarify that?
What is the context?
What exactly was? Is it the is it the conditioned soul? Is it the perfected soul? What exactly was it? I didn't quite get that.
That's about the spiritual senses already. When they restore to their original nature, the purity is there in our mind, in our senses, and in our intelligence. They immediately attract it. Immediately. No matter what around, no matter what we are doing, at that time when we hear, we forget everything else. And just by this description, it's so wonderful. It's like a single whole. The senses, the original spiritual senses, they always in union with the original sense object, which are the rupa of Krishna, the different gunas of this rupa, the different guna of his character, and the different lilas. So they all together, they cannot be separated. It's like a fish without water, just immediately die. And then when external separation is there, I don't hear Bhagavatam, I don't hear the different explanation about Krishna, I don't hear about his wonderful qualities, that immediately my mind alarming me, just go inside and meditate on Krishna. Let's have this reunion. Let's rejoin in with him inside. That's how it's happening, either outside or inside. The senses, it's two, like they can function in two formats, like externally and internally, like the spiritual senses. Externally, by immediately getting into union with the original sense object, and internally the same thing when they contemplate through the mind, the senses get connected through the contemplation about the wonderful qualities of Krishna, and then we have union inside. Then we have union with Krishna inside. Krishna appears, and it's also wonderful. Like it's explained by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in one of his beautiful commentaries in 10th canto, how it's happening. Like we meditate on this beautiful description of the form. His face is like a moon, and his wonderful eyes are like a lotus petals, and different parts, 8 parts of his body is like a lotuses, his palms and his feet and his navel and his beautiful face. And then when we meditate on it, we create the picture in the mind, all right? The Tribhanga, beautiful rupa, and with all these bhangas, and Krishna playing his flute. It's so beautifully, like even holding the flute, it's so gracious, everything. But he tells us that this rupa is not real, is not true, right? Because we cannot do it with our material senses. This is not true. That we didn't start yet. That's what Srila Prabhupada tells when he start describing even first quality of Krishna in Nectar of Devotion, that beauty, exquisite beauty of Krishna. First sentence, how to describe this quality, but not by not describing them. You cannot describe. That's the first sentence, you cannot describe. And then what are all these wonderful descriptions? Why are they given to us? Krishna is a lotus, Krishna is the sun, Krishna is the moon, Krishna is the stars of our heart, etc., etc. It's so beautiful. Then why all this explanation of his beauty if it's not true? That's the point. And then Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur tells, when we meditate like this, the concept is given. By these comparisons, the divine comparison with some natural phenomena, Srila Prabhupada tells here that the phenomena as comparison for the beauty of Krishna should be natural, because natural phenomena, the reflection of the beauty of Krishna, and they naturally reflect the beauty. We can't compare Krishna with his creation, because he is the creator of all these beautiful natural things, natural phenomena. Therefore, he can be compared only to them. But when we meditate, the picture is not real. It's a picture which we create in the mind. We are making this picture, but what is real? Meditation is real. And devotion is real. And then Krishna considers it. Oh, he or she meditates on me so nicely with such a devotion. Then he enters into this picture. This is a miracle. And again, this the foundation of the success of this meditation, Krishna entering into this picture. although it's not real. It's like making the deity of wood or metal. It's still wood or metal. It's not yet Krishna, but when you invoke presence of Krishna, when Krishna enters into this deity form, it becomes Krishna. The entering point is so important, and then meditate and meditate and meditate. And at one point, as it happened with a beautiful Brahmana from Pratishthanapur, we remember, he was cooking this nice thing and offering to Krishna, like sweet rice, because he was so poor, he couldn't afford to buy all this and to do it externally, so he was doing this internally. And at one point, he just touched the pot with this sweet rice, and it got burned. The meditation became so fruitful, successful, because it became the reality. Why? Because Krishna entered. Krishna entered in what we meditate upon, entered into his form. That's like a creation of the deity in the mind. Therefore, it's so important to meditate, because this is the beginning of the rasa, this meditation on the qualities of Krishna. And it happened actually, that's inseparable union with the original senses and their sense object, how we cannot restrain us when we already regain our nature, we already purified, when we already on the level, high level, bhava, prema, a little lesser, then miracle happen, like whatever we have here connected to the Lord will attract us. Chanting will attract, reading will attract, associating will attract, glorifying of the Lord will attract. And Krishna may appear in front of us. Although it's said in Shastras that he doesn't reveal himself, he doesn't manifest in Kali Yuga in front of person outwardly. But some exceptions are there. Why? Because of devotion. Like Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, it was again miracle. Like in Brahmagiri Alarnath, we know this place where Lord Chaitanya used to go during the Sanavasara period, when the Lord Jagannath was not accessible. That's restoration period, restoration time, so he's not visible, he's not on the altar, so Lord Chaitanya was going there to Alarnath to meditate on beautiful form of Alarnath. And it was so important for Gaudiya's place that Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati wanted to commemorate this place by establishing the Gaudiya mat there. And now this mat is there, he established it, and it's called Brahmagiri Gaudiya mat. And by establishing it, one day they were just going on the morning walk around the area through the jungle, and all of a sudden Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati started shouting like in madness, and nobody could understand anything. And then he began running like with the speed of the mind directly in the jungles and just disappeared. And everyone, all his disciples were so bewildered. What happened? What happened? And they started searching for him in the jungle. And at the end of the day, they found the Guru Maharaj. He was lying on the ground, unconscious, and the saliva was coming from his mouth. And somehow they managed to bring him to external consciousness. And they asked, what happened? What happened to you? And he explained, I saw Krishna. I saw Krishna. He appeared in front of me. That's how he said, and I couldn't restrain it. It was his explanation. I couldn't restrain myself. Whatever was there in me, my senses, my mind, it just ran, just flew there into this rupa of Krishna. Therefore, I started running like in madness. That's how we cannot be separated. On one particular level, we cannot be separated from the Lord. It's just impossible. That's, we hope the time will come.
When Krishna comes to kill Banasura, Banasura with so many hands, he's got 1,000 hands. So Mother Lakshmi is seated with Lord Vishnu, Krishna, on Garuda.
On Garuda.
Yeah, and immediately Lord Krishna throws his Sudarshan Chakra and chops off his hands. So she does get to participate. So how then the separation?
Not in the intimate pastimes. She is aspiring to enter the Vraja Lila.
Now it is said that Mother Lakshmi is the most chaste lady.
Yes.
So she is with Lord Vishnu. Then how come she is thinking of Lord Krishna and the intimate pastime?
Yeah, because it's the same person. It was explained. The same question arose in the conversation between Lord Chaitanya and Gopal Bhatta Goswami, we remember, in Shirangam, when Lord Chaitanya was asking, it was Venkata Bhatta, Gopal Bhatta, that's his son, he was asking Venkata Bhatta, how come that your Lakshmi want to be with my Krishna? And Venkata Bhatta thought, oh, my Lord, Prabhu, he's one person, Vishnu and Krishna, they're the same persons. It's not something extraordinary for her to strive to be with Krishna as with her husband. They're the same person. But because Krishna manifests his Madhurya features, which are not there in the personality of Vishnu. There is Madhurya, of course, but not that Madhurya. The highest Madhurya which he manifests in Vraja. She strives for this kind of Madhurya. But she cannot. Because she is Ishvari. She cannot get rid of her nature of being Ishvari. But to enter this realm of highest Madhurya of the Lord, you have to be a servant of the servant, of the servant, of the servant, of the servant. She's not like this. She was given a chance once. It's also interesting, like, because she is there in Shrivan. You know, when we cross in the Yamuna, Shrivan is there, and Lakshmiji is there. That's her eternal sadhana study. And what she's doing is aspiring to get into this intimate pastime, into rasa dance. She's meditating on the Lord. She's doing devotional austerities there, so people sometimes bring in here different offerings so that he will not get skinny too much. I'm joking, but it's true. Sometimes they bring in very nice offering to her, which is like make her fit for the rasa dance, hoping that once she will enter the rasa dance. But what happened? Once Krishna gave her a chance to enter, and he started playing his flute for the gopis, always, to welcome them to the rasa dance. And he made this flute heard by her, by Lakshmiji. And Lakshmi could understand, he is calling me. The first revelation, he is calling me to join his rasa dance. And she was thinking, wow, I have to be so nice, so beautiful. And she started to do makeup, and she started dressing nicely. And half an hour passed, and then 1 hour, and when she was ready for rasa dance with all the beautiful decoration, when she came there, so it was over. Once she was given this chance, but as Ishwar, as an enjoyer, actually, the lady who wants something from her paramour, she had to be beautiful in his eyes. But the gopi, that's not like this. They don't consider anything like this. They just immediately throw whatever they had in their hands, like burning pot with the burning kitchen on the husband, the small baby on the hands, and the throne. Immediately, when they heard the flute, they just ran without considering anything. This is what Krishna welcomes the most. Krishna likes the most, this eagerness to be with him. This is real criteria of entering this wonderful pastimes. It's called samutsuka. Shukadeva Goswami said that samutsuka, that burning desire to be with Krishna somehow or other. No matter what externally, how I appear, or what I'm doing, that's whatever he calls me, I'm there. For him, not for me. Therefore, my beauty doesn't matter anything for me. I want to please him. That's how it should be, samutsuka. And this is a real qualification for entering into the pastimes of the Lord. So we are getting it through the hearing of his wonderful qualities. That's our starting point. We already had 9:20. So, is it possible to do like personal exchange, because it's already too late? I'm sorry, Prabhuji. He will come now. Thank you so much for your attention. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Krishna ki jai. Nitai, 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 Gaura Pramanam.